The 45th annual Capital City Pride Festival ended earlier this evening, but not before their iconic Pride Parade walked through the East Village. While Pride is all about community, the legislative session showed, well, anything but. WHO 13's Catherine Wolford explains.
So we can get married today. Awesome!
15 years ago, Iowa became the third state in the nation to legalize same-sex marriage through the Varnum v. Bryan case, which found that the separation of marriage was not legal in the state's constitution. For those in the Iowa LGBTQ+ community, they're proud to be one of the first. But this legislative session and sessions prior have shown that the state government doesn't necessarily feel the same.
Honestly, it feels like Groundhog Day. We've been through this for years and years and years.
The Iowa State House saw 39 different bills that both directly and indirectly impact the LGBTQ+ community. One of the bigger bills that was introduced was House File 2082, which sought to classify gender dysphoria as a disability and strip it from the Iowa Civil Rights Code.
This targeted attack on trans individuals and trying to send this message that you're not wanted here in our state, that we don't want to protect you, and trying to shove them into a category of disability.
House File 2396 was a bit more specific by targeting Iowa students. The bill would allow school staff and educators to misgender and refer to students with the wrong name or dead name without any repercussions.
This bill really flies in the face of that concept. We have many districts who are asking for parental permission or guidance on whether it's nicknames for a standard student or for our transgender students, which name is most appropriate, right? And this bill would fly in the face of that and say any teacher or other student could use the wrong name for transgender or cisgender students alike, leading to a myriad of issues.
House File 2389 was a big one that almost passed out of committee. It would have more strictly defined what is male and female, define which services to the public are separate but equal, and mandate gender identification on official documentation like driver's license.
They are making LGBTQ people and specifically trans people political pawns. We didn't sign up for this. we just really want to live our lives.
You know, it's really hard to understand what that might be like if you're okay with your own gender, right? But you have to understand, I don't know what it's like to be okay with who I was.
While most of the 39 bills did not pass, Governor Reynolds did sign the Religious Freedom Restoration Act on April 3rd, which allows people to reject a service if it goes against their religion. It's a move critics say is not needed.
I strongly believe in religious freedom itself, but that applies to what you choose to do in your own life, not how you can control other people. We have the Civil Rights Act for a reason. There shouldn't be any exemptions to it unless you're an actual church.
With all of these bills flowing in and out of the State House, members of the LGBTQ+ community and other representatives came forward to voice their disagreements. Chants echoed through the State House demanding Iowa lawmakers stay out of their private lives. Fear for personal safety has been growing ever since attacks on the LGBTQ+ community began. Since 2016, it's been found that when political conversation targets a specific community, it leads to more dehumanization and hate crimes, something that has been prevalent in the LGBTQ+ community in recent years.
Specifically against gay and lesbian people, talking about how gay and lesbian people are sexual predators, groomers even, that they shouldn't be allowed in schools.
I testified at the Capitol a few weeks ago, and the man in front of me said that I was a domestic terrorist for using the bathroom. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being in the bathroom any more than anyone else. I just want to get in and use the bathroom and leave. And I will tell you that every transgender person, and even probably most LGBTQ people, they have to have a backup plan for what do I do if it gets too dangerous to live here, or what do I do if I can't get access to the medical care that I need.
Despite all of the hateful speech and general feeling of hopelessness within the community, many people have come forward with determination, and allies have rallied together to show that there's still a lot of fight left in them.
You know, I went to preschool here, I went to kindergarten here. This is my state as much as anyone else's. Hope is a thing that we create, not something that just is or isn't.
Don't be afraid to be yourself within reason.
In Des Moines, Catherine Wolford, WHO 13 News.
We did reach out to a handful of politicians about the legislation that they backed or opposed, and none returned our calls.